What is up, you guys? Hi, welcome back. Today we're back at it again with another art supply review. I know you guys missed them, and I honestly missed them as well. And in today's video, I have something pretty special for you because we're gonna be testing horrendously expensive color pencils, and I'm talking about the Holbein artist pencils. And let me show you. Oh my god, almost dropped them. So I got this set of 50 color pencils already back in summer, I think, and I just kept them on hold because I didn't really feel like testing anything new. But I think today is the day to see what are these pencils about and if it's really worth spending almost $200 on this. So yeah, let's find out together. Okay, so we're starting off as usual. Let's see these pencils close up. So they come in this kind of plastic sleeve, and once you take away the sleeve, you're left with this pretty sturdy paper cardboard-like box. As you can see, pretty neat. For $200, yeah, I would say that that's pretty okay. So once we open the box out, we can see that there is some kind of leaflet indicating I think colors that you can find inside of this specific set, and yeah, it's pretty much unreadable for me because I think it's Japanese or Chinese, I have no idea, but yeah. And yeah, now we're getting to the real deal, the pencils, and honestly, first glimpse, they look totally amazing. Every time I see art supplies being so brand new and laid out in some kind of color order, I think the color order is kept pretty well in here. I'm always just like so amazed. I could look at this for hours. So yeah, I think it looks pretty promising. But you know, looks is one thing. I really want to see if these pencils are gonna, you know, hold up to my standards, and you know, if these are gonna be worth the money and they will be performing well, basically. So let's start off with color swatches because that's super important for me. You guys know that for me the most important thing is actually the colors, the shades that we're getting in such sets. Because usually in those kind of big sets of art supplies, and I consider 50 pieces to be quite a big art supply set, usually there's plenty of colors that I would personally replace because I'm mostly focused on skin tone shades and a variation of that rather than, for example, having a huge variety of greens or purples, whatever color. So I'm probably gonna be pretty critical on this part, but yeah, let's see, let's give it a go. So once I started swatching, I could right away tell that these pencils are pretty different to what I'm used to. I'm usually working with Caran d'Ache, Luminance, Prismacolor or Polychrome's pencils. So being used to those kind of pencils, I had some kind of expectations on how these could perform, but I was really surprised once I put the first pencil against the surface of the paper because it felt so much more smooth and so much more buttery in a way, but not like Prismacolor, because Prismacolor it's just different, you know. And here I did my research because I was really interested in comparison to Prismacolor Premier pencils to see what kind of base the Holbein pencils have. And it appeared that, as I knew, Prismacolors have wax-based pigment, but those Holbein pencils actually have a blend of oil and wax, and they are usually described as soft oil pencils, which was something that I kind of expected because these definitely doesn't feel as waxy as Prismacolors, but they feel just different, you know. Anyway, now as I'm swatching, let's talk a little bit about the color scheme. And here, honestly, like you guys know, I wasn't really satisfied because, like I said, 50 pieces is quite a bit, but I don't think there is a good color selection in this set because I do feel the lack of some good skin tone shades. We do have a couple of beige-like colors and a couple of more orangey shades that could also be potentially used for coloring the skin. We also do have few brown shades, but I think it's really little to create some sort of more developed color variation in your characters. But then on the other hand, the set comes with pastel shades, which are surprisingly beautiful. So I'm definitely super excited to be using these in my future drawings. And along with that, this set also comes with a silver and gold shade, which were also surprisingly very nice. Okay, so now enough of details. Now let's put those pencils to practice, and obviously I'm gonna create a drawing using them. So I had those sketches in my sketchbook that were just lying around and I didn't know if I'm gonna ever finish them. So I thought that today's video is gonna be perfect to really see how these pencils are gonna perform. So that's why I'm just, outlining the sketch a little bit, and I'm gonna move on straight to the pencils. Actually, not quite, because I'm gonna obviously make this drawing how I create any drawing of mine, because I don't want to only use the pencils, because I rarely use only color pencils for my drawings. So I want to put them in the same kind of scenario like I would use any other pencils, meaning that I'm gonna create a marker base first of all, and then I'm gonna use pencils to shade the drawing. Alright, so as I said before, at first those pencils felt very buttery and very smooth. So once I started shading the skin, I find it very, very useful, and the shading was going very, very effortless in a way. So that was my kind of first impression when I started using these pencils in action, let's say. And then I realized that, I don't know if you guys remember, but I was testing Arteza pencils back in the day, and I realized that they actually feel very similar to Arteza pencils. However, the Arteza ones are a little bit more hard. The lead is a little bit harder than those Holbein ones. These feel even more smooth and soft. So if you guys like this type of pencil, I think you're gonna really, really love these. But for me personally, if I'm being honest with you guys, which I'm always honest with you guys, after a little bit of some initial shading, I found these a little bit tricky to work with, because for bigger areas, like for example shading the face, they work really, really amazing. But for little details like doing the outline, which I also like to use color pencils for, or just some details around the eyes, I found them to be a little bit too smooth for my personal taste. In such cases, I do really prefer something way more hard, like for example polychromos, and these work really well in those kind of situations. But these Holbein ones, they were a little bit questionable. And speaking about another disadvantage of these pencils, the color scheme. You guys know that I'm super picky when it comes to color scheme, and I'm really used to some of the skin tone shades that I have in my collection already. So finding something that will be as good in some other range of color pencils is a little bit tricky for me, and these definitely, the Holbein pencils definitely didn't live up to my standards, unfortunately. I bet that with some bigger sets and with a bigger color variety, which they definitely have, I would be able to find some perfect matches for me. But this set definitely didn't provide that for me. But despite all of that, I did actually find using those pencils pretty enjoyable, and I'm definitely willing to, explore working with them a little bit more, using different colors, trying them out in different scenarios, let's say. So to be fair, I'm actually pretty excited to still be using and testing out those pencils. But the problem is, do I really think that these are worth $200? Kind of both yes and no. If you guys are at the start of your art journey, if you're beginners, I would say don't invest your money in that. Definitely not. First of all, don't get big sets, get a couple of shades and just try out different art supplies, different colored pencils, but don't invest so much money in such set that you might not enjoy. However, if you are someone that is a little bit more advanced in your journey, and if you just want to explore and add some new art supplies to your collection, these definitely might be something that you would like to explore, and you're probably gonna get some use out of these, because these are really good pencils, but they just don't fit my personal needs that much, and in comparison to the pencils that I already have, I find these to be like, you know, somewhere in the middle. So definitely adding them to my collection, but not as a staple, just as some new addition, let's say. So yeah, these are pretty much my thoughts on the Holbein artist pencils. And yeah, this is also the drawing that I managed to create it with them. I think it turned out pretty good, but you guys let me know as always. And yeah, that is pretty much all for today's video. I really hope that it was helpful for you guys. I really hope that this review was helpful for you guys, especially for those who were wondering whether they should get those pencils or not. I really hope that with my thoughts and my review, it will be easier for you guys to make this decision. Let me know. And well, in the meantime, I'll be wrapping up. So thank you guys so much for watching. And I can't wait to see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.